Good afternoon. My name is Kanwall Qayyum. I am presenting my final capstone project on Peet's Coffee. I go to Capella University and today is September 17th, 2021. I'm going to first start off with just a table of contents in terms of my project that I'm presenting here today. This is basically an introduction of what will be introduced. Um, I will talk about the proposed topic, the coffee industry in Peet's Coffee, leadership at Peet's Coffee, strategy and scope, global ventures, ethics, customer service and project recommendations, and then in conclusion, just summarizing everything that we have gone over. So the proposed topic. Peet's Coffee has managed to stay competitive in today's coffee market by focusing on their customer experience despite being overshadowed by the fast-paced, widely available Starbucks. Being from California, I'd see Peet's Coffee everywhere. It was in the San Francisco Bay Area, but not as much as Starbucks. So, how has Peet's Coffee stayed afloat is what we are going to talk about because it has created this customer experience for the consumer like no other. Coffee is in our DNA, and Peet's Coffee taught the world how to drink coffee. The aroma of the coffee houses resonated with the people in the United States when Alfred Peet, the founder of Peet's Coffee, brought this concept back to the Americas from Europe. He wanted to have the cup of coffee directly to the customer, eliminating the middleman. The customer experience, of course, is rooted in all of the operations of Peet's Coffee. Basically, roasting happens at the site. It was brewed at the site, and then it was handed to the customers at the site. Of course, after the expansion, this was 50 years ago. Of course, after the expansion, Peet's Coffee has centralized some of this, but still, there was very specific oversight on all of these processes within Peet's Coffee. The current state of Peet's Coffee, where is it right now? It has about 250 stores in California. There's several other stores in the United States, and it's continuously growing. In addition, is growing in the global market as well. It has just reached 40 stores in the Chinese market. The coffee industry and Peet's Coffee. Here we talk about how does Peet's Coffee play a part in this? Peet's Coffee's mission, vision, and core values is revolved around the commitment to the craft. They're dedicating to crafting that perfect cup of coffee, and this attempt carries them through each step of the process. As I referenced before, they have oversight on each step of the process. Alfred Peet wanted to eliminate the middleman. He did the roasting, the brewing, all within the same coffee house that he opened in Berkeley, California, more than 50 years ago. Peet's Coffee and service line and products. Peet's Coffee service line and products includes coffee, tea, the K-pods we use for our Keurigs, loose tea. They sell iced espressos, gift cards, and a lot of different Starbucks paraphernalia, mugs and T-shirts and caps, whatnot. You can find out the different coffee houses. Starbucks is a competitor. Starbucks has expanded more rapidly than Peet's Coffee did, but and it's taking a share of the consumer coffee market, but Peet's continues to stay competitive and offer their unique coffee experience. Leadership. How has Peet's Coffee been successful? It's because of its leadership. Alfred Peet, the founder of Peet's Coffee, had this able leadership. He had a leadership, what's called a servant leadership. He's served alongside his employees. He roasted the coffee, he brewed it, and he served it to the customer. His goal was to achieve the best outcome, and to accomplish this, he had to help with issues and attend to the employees and fix the obstacles. The corporate hierarchy and structure. The CEO is also the roast master. Then there is Dave Berwick, who's carried along this 50-year-old legacy and doubled annual sales after joining Peet's Coffee as CEO. He leveraged the San Francisco Bay Area and trailblazed his way through the industry. Basically, the San Francisco Bay Area is home to many tech companies, and because they're always on the go and creating new and innovating, Dave Berwick caught on to that. He said if they could do it, so can Peet's Coffee. And so he doubled their annual sales after joining. Supply chain leadership, also known as supply chain management, is very important. Just as Peet's Coffee mission and vision is to have oversight on every step of the process, just so as much supply chain management becomes just as important. This is where you incorporate active management of supply chain activities to maximize customer value. The leadership task for supply chain management involves development, the source, the production, and handling the logistics. What's the future sustainability of this effective leadership? Effective and efficient leadership has been the reason why Peet's Coffee has stayed competitive with Starbucks. Only 3 roasters have been promoted since the beginning of time, or beginning of Peet's Coffee. Individuals with leadership drive and the ability to love people categorize leaders at Peet's Coffee. Carrying on the legend's vision, being here for the customer, is what every leader in Peet's Coffee is expected to do. Okay, so then move. Okay, so the economics of business. In this visualization, you see there are 5 different stages. There's the growing stage that costs 7 cents per cup. The exporting stage that costs 16 cents per cup. Roasting stage that costs 38 cents per cup. The distribution stage that costs 0.04 cents per cup. And then the retail stage, which costs the 2.17 per cup. So in total, $2.8 per cup of coffee that is going through each stage of that coffee production. Moving on to global ventures. So now Peet's Coffee has been extending in the United States. It has been rooted in several different countries. Of course, not as visible as Starbucks, but it is getting there. So its global expansion in China has become very profitable. And the Chinese like being on the newest trend. The younger generation definitely like their coffee. So Peet's Coffee just opened up their 40th store in China. Customer tends to be the center of the expansion. That's why Peet's Coffee is slow and steady. They don't want to commercialize their stores. They don't want a customer to leave unhappy. So they continue to bring the customer at the center of all of their decisions. The future vision is to stay competitive. Peet's Coffee has a good head on its shoulder, and with brand loyalty and dedicated leadership, it has reported that it has a good pricing power across the portfolio. And even though the price increases may carry over to the consumer, the loyalty will remain. Peet's Coffee has an expansive portfolio and is leveraging different mediums for marketing and visibility. But one of those weaknesses has been identified, and they need to overcome by advertising more. Peet's Coffee, like Starbucks, needs to visualize what they have to the consumers. Yes, they are their loyal consumers, but to lure in other groups, Peet's Coffee must get out there. Ethics. Ethics is very important in the coffee industry, just like it is any other industry. Ethics is rooted in our society, and unknowingly we make ethical decisions more often than we believe. In the healthcare industry, doctors make ethical decisions all the time. Ethics related to the coffee industry that has been highlighted here are fair trade practices. There are many corporate companies that affect these fair trade practices, which affect smaller farmers. It affects the pricing of coffee. So to be true to ethical standards and ethical behaviors, the regulatory agencies are in place to monitor these operations so that ethics isn't violated. Peet's Coffee Company ethics, they have a commitment. They have a commitment to the highest standards of business conduct and ethics. What they have done here is that they use what is called a Hooker model of ethics, and it applies to the coffee industry. Ethics, as mentioned by Hooker, is a rational choice. In all of the operations of the coffee industry, Peet's Coffee must make a rational choice as many elements of the supply chain that are involved: the farmers, the roasters, the shippers, the makers, and the servers. Hooker's three specific conditions that a decision must satisfy in order to be logically consistent are very important in how we learn and apply our rational choices. Ethics related to Starbucks dominance. Starbucks learned the trade from Peet's Coffee. Peet's Coffee allowed them to go and expand. But Peet's Coffee declined to have espresso bars in their retail locations, but consumers wanted that. So for a while, Peet's Coffee lagged behind and Starbucks stayed competitive. But when Starbucks started expanding, they did honor a 5-year non-compete clause. So ethically, Starbucks' practices, Starbucks' concept of expanding has been ethical. They haven't hindered Peet's Coffee. Peet's Coffee. Peet's Coffee's mission is different. They want to bring the coffee to the consumer without any middlemen. Customer service and product recommendations. So the brand loyalty or the brand loyal is Peet's local customers are called Peetniks. These are Peet's Coffee fanatics that are all over the world and are local to Peet's Coffee. They love the environment and the warmth of Peet's Coffee houses. They appreciate the environment and it's been carried on as a legacy of Peet's Coffee, as a legacy Alfred Peet left behind. Peet's customer base increases with his brand loyalty, and its broad customer demographic has helped it stay visible in the market. The demographic age group now ranges from 16 to 70, so basically all ages of people enjoy coffee. In the marketing plan, a new major shift in marketing at Peet's Coffee is now focusing on the younger consumers by refreshing its brand identity, packing in-store displays, and offering new products like the Peet's Cold Brew. Peet's Coffee marketing strategy is also rooted in the corporate objectives and uses a strategy of what we call plan to win in its worldwide expansion. Peet's Coffee has also utilized the individualist identity by mastering the art of staying in touch with its core customers and building new ones via integrated marketing communications. Peet's Coffee utilizes a multi-channel, multimedia with consistent brand messaging. There are 4 types of marketing controls that have been put in place to see the 4 types of monitoring controls to see the demand for the new products that are put out there: the annual plan control, profitability control, efficiency control, and the strategic control. In terms of sustainability and impact, Peet's Coffee targets different people. Their promotional strategies to focus on the product campaigns that are relevant to customers. The keywords they choose to market are very important because it just needs to be simple. It needs to resonate with people, and they need to want more. This includes understanding the behavior of customers from an international perspective. As Peet's Coffee continues to expand, it targets a different set of people than the same introduction in the United States market. The pricing strategy involves a price bundling, so it's affordable for the consumers. The distribution strategy continues to expand for Peet's Coffee. Peet's Coffee slowly but surely is being added to many different grocery stores. It wants to be that available choice when a consumer goes to buy its coffee. In conclusion, Peet's Coffee's future is bright. Peet's Coffee has managed to stay competitive in today's coffee market by focusing on their customer service experience. With the massive expansion that Starbucks coffee has had, Peet's Coffee could have been trumped down long time ago, but Peet's Coffee has a strong holding in the coffee industry, and their mission, vision, and core values, they revolve around the customer experience, the idea of the commitment to the craft, to the Peetniks who come to Starbucks on a regular basis. The future focus is continue to be on customer satisfaction. Starbucks will remain one of the top competitors. However, their mission and vision will always differ from Peet's Coffee. Alfred Peet's leadership was effective because he was a servant type leadership, and all of his leadership since then follows the same path. Competitiveness and sustainability is an important factor to overcome the internal and external factors to stay competitive and stay sustainable. That's why Peet's Coffee needs to advertise more. Peet's Coffee needs to work on their weaknesses. They are making getting Peet's Coffee easy for the consumer. So they will continue to work on that. Ethics is always highlighted. Ethics has been documented as an important factor in the coffee industry. Implementing fair trade practices and ensuring that farmers at every level are fairly treated is very important. Mass production leads to less customer focus, and that's what Starbucks is doing. Starbucks wants to sell its cup of coffee. Consumers buy it because it's convenient, but can consumers say that I've gotten a good customer service experience at a store? Yes, they can, but not as well as Peet's Coffee. So, in conclusion, the future of Peet's Coffee is bright.